We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Action Comics number 535. This is from the original 1938 series of Action Comics, and this issue came out in 1982. Written by Marv Wolfman, Joe Staton on art, Pablo Marcos was the embellisher, Todd Klien letterer, Gene D'Angelo colorist, Julius Schwartz editor. Superman is back in the modern time, which they do touch on why that happened later on. But he is trying to save the Galaxy building from the mole, but it appears some of his powers are either gone or not functioning properly. So his invulnerability is just gone. He's taking damage from catching things, and a chunk of building hits him and almost kills him. And that's when he meets the Omega Men, and they want his help because people on their planet are dying. They apparently met Green Lantern in some story that's not referenced, which is really annoying. And that's when we get a recap as to what happened to Superman last issue and his encounter with Lord Satanis and Siren, and how he was thrown back to the present because he was no longer useful to Lord Satanis. The duplicate of him that was made is now with Siren, and that version of him has invulnerability. So he can still fly, he can still use cold breath, but a lot of his other powers aren't there, including his heat vision. And while he's trying to convince the Omega Men to help him stop the mole, they are attacked by the mole's minions, and Superman gets seriously injured, and they have to take him to a hospital because he's no longer invulnerable. So the mole's men see the opportunity here and go after Superman while he's being treated by the doctors. And we're left with a really dark cliffhanger ending. Now the backup story is an Airwave story. It's part 2 of the story that was started last issue, written by Bob Rozakis, Alex Saviuk on pencils, Frank Chiaramonte on inks, Milt Snapinn on letters, Bob Rozakis colorist, and Julius Schwartz editor. The identity of the conspirator with the alien is revealed, and Airwave has to find this world-ending bomb that was planted. It's an experimental weapon by these aliens as a demonstration of power to someone back in their solar system. Kind of convoluted, but still pretty fun. So Airwave uses the communication helmet against these guys by pretending to be the alien out in space and communicate a test idea to this other guy. He finds out where the bomb is that way and outthinks them effectively. Unfortunately, the ruse doesn't quite go as planned, but Airwave is able to still save the day through almost accident, but he's willing to sacrifice himself to do it. And it's got a good ending. Overall, it was an okay story. It was the best Airwave story, I think, so far, these 2 parts. But this issue will lose a little bit of impact if you didn't read last issue's first half. And although I'm not a big Airwave fan, I think the character has some potential. They should probably retool him a little bit if they ever bring him back out. But the way he was willing to sacrifice himself showed him to be a true hero, and it was a pretty good storyline. It was actually really impressive. It would have made a good standalone story, and I'm sad a lot of these books don't get reprinted because some of these backup stories were pretty decent if they had been together in their own issues, and this one definitely would have been much better as a one-shot story in like an adventure comics or something. But the Superman story was okay. The Omega Men felt like they were forced into the story, but it wasn't bad. I didn't feel cheated for the $3 I paid for the issue, so I'll recommend it. It just was kind of weak because the Omega Men really never caught on, and their costumes are kind of ludicrous. They're a lot like the New Gods for me, but they're kind of low-tier New God types, so I wasn't real impressed with them. But overall, the story's fine. Not as good as a couple of the issues, but maybe next issue will be better. I thought the art was solid, and cover was great, but I just don't really care about the Omega Men, and I think they were the biggest hindrance to the story. It'd have been nice if there was some better guest stars in it, like Green Lantern or somebody, instead of the Omega Men. They're sort of third-tier New Gods, so I just didn't care about them at all. But aside from that, though, the story was good. It just wasn't spectacular or great like it could have been, but I'll still recommend it. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description for ways to support me, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.